Good morning, traders. Steve Ganz here, and I want to do an earnings trade on Netflix. Now, this is for demonstration purposes only. I'm not doing this as a live trade. I'm not recommending this as a live trade. What I am doing is I want to do a compare and contrast between a long straddle and a short straddle. Now, with OptionStrat, I can come in and I can do the trade optimizer, and I can select directional. This means I don't know which direction this is going to go, but I do think there's going to be a huge directional move. Now, it's kind of nice because OptionStrat shows me right here what the expected move on this is. They're expecting a $67 move up or down, okay? Again, we don't know which direction this is going to go. So what I want to do, this is an experimental trade, is I'm going to come in and I'm going to put on a short at the money straddle. Now this is really high volatility, so the premise or the theory in the short straddle is that after the volatility drops out of this after earnings tomorrow morning, if the underlying price does not move significantly, this thing will have a lot of profit show up very quickly in it. If, again, volatility drops out and the underlying stays somewhat centered in our tent. It doesn't even have to be centered. It can go down 20, 30 points, up 20, 30 points. All of that would make for a nice, profitable earnings trade here. The opposing trade to this, if you have a different opinion, is that if you think the market is going to move dramatically in one direction or another, which certainly Netflix is capable of doing, you would do a long straddle. In this case, you pretty much have to have that significant move. Now here today, when volatility is high, this is fine. If volatility goes up from here, this trade could show some profitability, but volatility is likely going to drop out of this after the earnings report tomorrow. The question is, when volatility drops out, will we get a significant move one direction or the other once that happens? So again, this is a very interesting compare and contrast, and this is where a trader has to sit and look at what is your opinion of this underlying. Are you expecting a big, monstrous move, in which case this may be a viable trade? Or are you expecting a wimpy movement one direction or another and a drop in volatility, in which case this would be a viable trade? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to save both of these. This will be Netflix short straddle. I'm going to just put earnings behind this. And there's not going to be any way to adjust these, just to be clear, because this is going to wrap up tomorrow morning after earnings. So there really isn't going to be much in the way of adjusting this. So we need to know that whatever we're doing here, this is the trade. So I will copy that link, and then I'm going to come to the other one here, and this is the long straddle. Save that, and again mark that earnings and save that. And I'll provide both of these links down below so that traders can copy this and see what happens tomorrow morning. I'm going to be having both of these open tomorrow morning at the open of the market, and we'll take a look and see how this plays out. So, see you all tomorrow morning. Take care, everyone.